OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Guys, welcome back to Outcasted OC. This week discussing NXT after an amazing Royal Rumble appearance from some of these people like your Carmelo Hayes, your Roxanne Perez. Is there going to be anything interesting happening on NXT this week? Before we get into it, obviously like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed the channel, any of our content that's taken place over the past couple of days. I just want to say a quick thank you for all the support over the Royal Rumble weekend. It was a really cool pay-per-view. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Cody Rhodes fan in the world, but I still enjoyed the pay-per-view. Obviously, G and Courtney and Ross were all live discussing what was going on in the Rumble, and then we had the Royal Rumble review from Court. So make sure you go check that out if you've not seen it yet, and to see what she thinks of the Royal Rumble. It was a really good video. I really enjoyed it. But while I really enjoy NXT, wow, what a great transition, Reese. Getting into it, let's see where we start. We start with the semi-final match in the Dusty Tag Team Classic. The winner goes on to face Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, who also had a really cool appearance in the Royal Rumble. Wow, like he eliminated like 4 or 5 people, and one of them was almost Jimmy Uso. I think he eliminated Finn Balor as well. So he's been on a roll. And he's also going to be in the, obviously, final of the Dusty Cup. So whoever wins this match between the LWO, Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro, and Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes gets to go face the Wolf Dogs, who Braun and Corbin later talk about it. Obviously, Braun brought this up last week, and Corbin wasn't really a big fan of it, and now he's talking about it, and now he is the one who name-dropped the tag team name, and Braun Breaker seems to be pretty happy with what he by what he's hearing. Let's just talk about that right now. So there's a segment later on in the night where Baron Corbin's like, where was my shout to be in the Rumble? Dude, like, come on, why didn't you even tell me you was gonna be in it, etc. And then he drops the Wolf Dog's name, and Braun's like, wait, what did you just say? And Baron Corbin's like, he pretty much says everything apart from what he's just said. And Braun Breaker is just absolutely buzzing that Baron Corbin seems to like the War Dogs name. But let's get into the semi-final match. This was a really cool match, like to see like the difference in styles. I feel like I see this every week for a different match, but it really was cool to see with Joaquin Wilde and Cruz. Obviously the lucha style, the good lucha things, but obviously Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes are no slouches themselves when it comes to high flying, when it comes to speed. But I will point out there's a really cool moment in this match where Carmelo is on the outside of the ring and Joaquin Wilde goes for a springboard tope. And he hits it absolutely perfectly. It was really, really cool. Probably one of my favorite moves of the night. This match comes to an end, however, where there's a really cool spot where the LWO do kind of a coast to coast, but from 2 different sides of the ring. So I believe you've got Carmelo Hayes in the corner, and then from one side comes Joaquin, and the other side comes Cruz del Toro. And it's just a really, really cool move to see. But the match comes to an end where there is a quick tag from Trick Williams. The LWO do not see it and turn around and get hit with a flash knee for the 1, 2, 3. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are in the final of the Dusty Cup. I thought this was pretty obvious that this was going to happen because I have a feeling Carmelo Hayes is going to do something on the weekend to cost Trick Williams either the Dusty Cup or the NXT Championship, obviously because he's facing Ilya Dragunov on the same pay-per-view. Trick Williams pulling double duty. Fair play to him. That is a lot of stamina in that boy right there. What do we have next, guys? Right, we have a weird segment here, mainly because of Lexis King, because Lexis King is just a weird guy. Rich Holland is talking to Ava in the general manager's office. Obviously, Ava became the youngest general manager of all time last week when she became general manager of NXT. But Rich Holland is talking to her, and she's trying to talk him down, and she can't allow the match that he wants. And the match that he wants is a handicap match. He wants a 3-on-1 handicap match between him and the rest of Gallus. So he wants to take on all of Gallus by himself. Obviously, the storyline on NXT at the moment is Ridge Holland actually has no friends and no one is willing to stand up for him. No one is willing to have his back. So Ridge Holland is going to have to take on the whole of Gallus by himself. But Ava is not going to allow that. Lexis King walks in and tries to give Ava a present and says that they have a meeting to discuss, his future, like what's going to be happening for Lexis King in 2024. It's kind of creepy just because Lexis King is a creepy guy. I don't know. I don't know if that's surely that's just his gimmick because he seems like a pretty nice guy on Twitch. Ava says she can't accept the gift, but she does have an idea, seeing as though Ridge doesn't have a match and Lexis King is looking for a match. How about them two face each other tonight? Ava hands the present to Ridge Holland, when Ridge Holland gives Lexis King the present back. The present being, by the way, his new T-shirt. Apparently, that's on WWE.com. That is selling really fast, according to him. I do not believe that. I would never buy a Lexis King T-shirt. No, thank you very much. We now stay backstage to where Tatum Paxley is trying to write a letter to Lyra Valkyria because she's not been responding to her ever since last week when she put Roxanne Perez through a table for Lyra because that's what she thought she wanted. Lyra walks in and she is obviously fuming with Tatum, saying, listen, I got all your messages. I don't want to hear it. Why did you put Roxanne Perez through a table last week? I did not want that. How did you interpret what I said? I need to keep my eye on Roxanne Perez. How did you interpret that as I want to watch you put her through a table? Obviously Tatum says she's sorry. She wants to have her back. And when she's done with Roxanne Perez tonight, you won't even have an opponent for NXT Vengeance Day, and you will be the NXT Women's Champion forever. That doesn't end very well. There's a very short match with Lyra Valkyria on commentary. Roxanne Perez hits the pop rocks on Tatum Paxley for the win. Not much to talk about in this match, apart from Tatum Paxley is doing a couple of Lyra Valkyria's moves just to get her attention, obviously, because, like I said, she's on commentary. That distracts Tatum enough to get hit with pop rocks for the 1, 2, 3. I don't know if I'm looking forward to this match. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the NXT Women's Championship match. Mainly just because I don't like Roxanne Perez. I just think she's a bit mid. Sorry, guys, I do. I just don't think this whole character that's going for at the moment, like the whole, I'm a hard baby face, basically, and she's a bit cocky, and it doesn't hit the ear right when she talks. And I just don't like the character. I'm sorry. If you guys do like the character, that is absolutely fine with me. I don't hold it anything against you. But yeah, that's just me. We now go backstage again to where you have got Ren Sinclair, who's having a conversation with Ariana Grace. And Ariana Grace is telling her, that she needs to be more refined. She needs to follow a role model that will, to basically take her in the right direction. Ariana Grace is confronted there by Fallon Henley, who says, Sinclair, don't listen to Ariana Grace. She's just basically a dick. She calls her a dick in a lot of words, but that is pretty much what she calls her. I love Ariana Grace. I think she's great on the microphone. I think she is great at promos. She is so good at this character of pageant queen. Like it's just so good what she does. And in the ring, she's not bad at all. So, I don't see any downsides to Ariana Grace, to be honest. But I do see a downside to this next match. Not because of who won, not because of, the victor who came out on top, just because of how short it went. Seeing as though, you've got a bit of a rivalry going on here. We've got Elektra Lopez versus Lola Vice. Obviously, Lola Vice comes out with a win here with it's like that black mass kick that she's got, isn't it? But it's a very short match. Obviously, you would think they want to put over Elektra Lopez a little bit, seeing as though that she debuted on SmackDown just a couple of nights ago to join Santos Escobar, to join the family. Are they called the family? It's a bit confusing because if they're called the family and the D'Angelo family are called the family, we've got two families. I don't know. I don't know if it's confirmed that that's what they're called, but yeah, she joined them on SmackDown last week. I didn't get to see SmackDown, unfortunately. Apparently, Trick Williams was on there, so I missed a good show apparently. Yeah, but like I said, there's not really much to talk about in that match, Lola Vice versus Elektra Lopez. Like Elektra Lopez looked pretty good with a couple of power moves, but in the end, it didn't last long enough for me to care. Obviously, you've got Lola Vice going on for more interesting stuff in the future. She's still got that contract, that breakout contract that grants her an NXT Women's Championship match or any Women's Championship match in the company. Elektra Lopez is probably going to go on to do great things with Legado del Fantasma. I don't know if that's their name still, but that's what they were called. So let's just call them it again. So yeah, like maybe it was just like a throwaway. Maybe it was just like, let's get this out of the way to get Elektra Lopez on the main roster and to get Lola Vice onto her next rivalry. Who knows? We now go backstage again to where Dijak is chilling in his little room, and Joe Gacy walks in after the fight that they had last week and says, "So this is where you come to reflect and chill and think. Can I take a seat?" And Dijak says, "No," basically, no. A fight ensues, basically, and this goes on all night because later on in the night, we see them two on top of a truck. I don't know how they get on top of the truck, but they are on top of the truck, and Dijak throws Joe Gacy off of the truck into a garbage can, which is, it looks gnarly, dude. Like it's a big dumpster, and Joe Gacy just goes flying into this dumpster. I just want to point out a little bit of a funny segment though. While they're having a little bit of a conversation before they start fighting, Dijak says, "I'm surprised you still haven't. I'm surprised you're still not pulling all the splinters out your ass for when I put you through the table last week." I thought that was pretty funny. Later on in the night, Dijak is being threatened to be suspended by Ava. The referees are trying to get him out the building. Dijak says, "Give me Joe Gacy at NXT Vengeance Day in a no disqualification match." And Ava's like, "No, like, the state that he's in right now, you just threw him off of a truck, dude. Like, how is that going to work? Like, he's probably not going to be in a state to wrestle." It's quite funny because the ass stood next to the dumpster, and Joe Gacy kind of just like flops his arm over and goes, "Whoa, and a no disqualification match? That sounds fun. Make the match, basically." So Ava grants the match to Dijak and Joe Gacy. That's probably going to be one of my favorite matches of Vengeance Day. I've been quite a big critic of Joe Gacy lately, but I am quite interested to see what they're going to be doing with him because he seems like the type of character that can really pull off the "I don't really care" guy. You know what I mean? I don't really, I don't show any fear when it comes to putting my body on the line. So hopefully, he goes somewhere. You never know. We now get just a crap match. A crap match. I don't know how else to say it. It's Lexis King versus Ridge Holland. And I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. I don't know if it's a case of Lexis King just hasn't got off the ground yet. But I feel like I've given him enough time to interest me in anything that he does, and he just doesn't. Like, backstage is creepy. He is just one of the worst people on the NXT roster, and I don't know how else to say it. He's just awful. And in this match, he doesn't really have time to like kind of flow because you've got Gallus who get involved, who Ridge Holland fights off. He fights off all three members of Gallus, but then obviously Lexis King is still in the ring. He takes advantage. He kind of does a draping DDT, the one that the Randy Orton does for the 1, 2, 3, and Lexis King wins the match. I don't know what they've got planned for Lexis King in 2024, but God, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's to really say about him because he just doesn't interest me in the slightest. He really doesn't. He's one of those things where like, I really wanted to like him through his promos before he debuted, but for me, he's just bad. Like he's just bad at like being a wrestler. I don't know how else to say it. He's boring in the ring. He's creepy backstage. I don't see any upsides to Lexis King, but maybe you'll prove me wrong in 2024. Who knows? And we now go backstage to Mello, who is telling Trick, obviously after the victory, like, you still need to keep your eye on Ilya Dragunov because he's playing mind games. I'm not going to focus much on this in this review, guys, because he's been saying the same thing for the past couple of weeks, and we'll talk about it more in the main event of NXT this week. We are saying goodbye to Chase University. Obviously, last week the lights were shut down. Everything got repossessed. Class dismissed. We have got Andre Chase, we've got Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne in the ring, ready to say goodbye to Chase University. Duke Hudson says Andre Chase, inspired a lot of people. He inspired all the people that was in Chase University to, be better. He changed his life around in terms of himself. Obviously, he used to be that gambler guy at the start of NXT, which was terrible. But as soon as he joined Chase U, he became insanely better. After this, he says, I kind of bullied and intimidated the other students of Chase University to make a best of Chase University video for you guys. And he puts it on the screen and it's really cool to see. It's like basically all the best moments from Chase U back when it first opened, the very first segment, when Andre Chase welcomed everyone to Chase University saying, "Who's a winner in this room?" And everyone should have their hands up. Really funny moments here where it's just what's a montage of him swearing at all the students where he grabbed whose phone was it? Was it Simon or Paul or something? The phone and threw it on the floor. And when they won the NXT Tag Team Championship. So all the best moments from Chase University, and Andre Chase is getting a bit emotional in the ring until JC Jane comes out and Thea Hale, what are you guys doing here? So they come out and reveal that this is not the end of Chase University. Granted, JC says she was a bit of a toxic person when she first joined Chase U, but when she realized that how close all of you guys were, she knew that she was in the right place and she knew that she had to help when the university was in trouble. So she know what she did? She got all of the women of Chase University together and they have made a Chase University Women's 2024 calendar. And this is not only going to pay off all the debts for Chase University, it's going to take him into the stratosphere. It's going to take him to the next level. And Andre Chase is absolutely buzzing. He cannot thank JC Jane enough. He is so, so happy. And Chase University is saved, guys. Chase University is saved. It's back. JC Jane has saved the day. Well, I mean, I hope so anyway. I hope this is just not just like a bluff and she's using it to do any Healy things. Please, JC Jane, please let me have Chase University back. I don't want him to close down. I want him to go up to the main roster. So maybe that's what she means when she says, like, you know, the calendar is going to take him to the next level. Maybe it'll get the attention of the main roster. Let's see. Oh, let's hope. Let's pray. Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Thea Hale, JC Jane, Riley Osborne, and the rest of Chase University hopefully go into Raw or SmackDown. I hope soon. That'll be dope. Thank you very much. Sorry, I got very excited then because we're talking about my favorite thing on NXT. Well, one of my favorite things on NXT. We have got something else to talk about on NXT. It's a tragedy, but it's one of my favorite things on NXT. We now go to, I don't know where they are, but they're driving around the streets and then they start talking about Rizzo, the family. Tony D and Stacks are talking about Rizzo, about how when they were younger, Rizzo was the person to, consult, like, when an ex wasn't talking to you or, like, someone was disrespecting you or on the playground when you needed something done. Rizzo was the person to call Rizzo, basically. And at NXT Vengeance Day, the family, the OTM better watch out because Rizzo is on the warpath, and the Tony D'Angelo family are going to take control of NXT. And later on in the night, we pretty much get I'm not going to repeat it because we get the exact same thing from Jada and the rest of OTM. They came from out the mud, they came from nothing, and they're gonna take down OTM. Jada says she's not going to take anything from anyone. She's like, people tell her what to do. She ain't going to listen to that nonsense. Basically. Yeah, it's just a bit of a naff promo. Like, I'm looking forward to the match, don't get me wrong, but both of them said the exact same thing, basically, like, bigging each other up. So it served its purpose, I suppose. But yeah, Jada Parker, I've not seen much of it in the ring. I am excited for OTM. Apparently, there was on the pre-show, on the Royal Rumble. I mean, don't quote me on that because I don't know. I didn't see the pre-show for the Royal Rumble. But like the family, I'm excited for the family in 2024. Tony D and Stacks and Rizzo apparently now. I don't know if they're going to be staying in NXT. I mean, I don't know if there's enough space on the main roster for any more people, but like Tony D and Stacks, etc., have been on this NXT brand for a while now. I mean, Tony D was fighting Pete Dunne when he was called Pete Dunne before he became Butch, and now Butch is now Pete Dunne again. That's how long Tony D'Angelo has been around for. So, hopefully maybe give him the North American Championship if they're not going to be taking him up to the main roster. Maybe they are going to be taking him up to the main roster. I don't know. Who knows? Only time will tell, I suppose. We now go backstage to where Brooks Jensen is trying to talk to Fallon Henley before a match, and he's like, remember when we went to NXT UK and we captured those UK championships? Time flies. You and Briggs are doing great work, and it seems that obviously Jensen is like kind of stuck at the moment. There's nothing really for him to do. So I think they're going to be turning him heel, guys, obviously, because Fallon Henley didn't really have any time for him then. So only time will tell what they're going to be doing with Brooks Jensen. But then this is followed by another, just a bit of a sad match, really. Ariana Grace looking good in the ring, Fallon Henley looking good in the ring, but they're not giving it enough time to really do anything in this match. Again, with the women this week, guys, you had it on Raw and you had it again on NXT this week, where the women have just not been given much to do. I will say this: Metaphor interfere, and this costs Fallon Henley the match while Ren Sinclair isn't looking. So obviously it all kind of falls apart. I don't know how else to say it, really, just because it was just a bit of a naff match. I don't know how else to say that. But yeah, we do get a Heritage Cup match now, guys. It is the Von Wagner versus Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup match. You have got the Bash Brothers, Robert Stone's kids in the front row. We try to watch Von Wagner capture the Heritage Cup. Obviously Robert Stone is there trying to, cheer him on. How does this go though? Let's have a look. In round one, Von Wagner gets distracted very easily because he doesn't really understand the rules. He doesn't really understand that he's trying. It's like round based, I suppose. I don't know how he doesn't really recognize the rules. Surely, surely he knows the rules. Like, surely the referee told him backstage. I don't know. But Von is really wasting time in this match. We go to round 2 where he gets distracted by Aura Mensa, and unfortunately, that means Noam Dar gets the first fall. He is 1 fall down already, Von Wagner. We go into round 3 where, again, the knee is like really affecting him here, guys, because Noam Dar has been working on the knee in round 2. We go into round 3, and the knee is still hurting Von. Like, Noam Dar is trying to like mount an offense on Von Wagner. He's hitting the power moves, but the knee is getting on his nerves. Noam Dar ends up getting him in a knee bar after the bell. He does not let go. So obviously this is cheating. Like, Booker T does not acknowledge it. I loved how he acknowledged like the Von Wagner punches was cheating, but he doesn't acknowledge that Noam Dar is cheating by implementing the knee bar. But yeah, it is what it is. Vic Joseph, fair plays to like calls out the bookman as well. So, fair enough. Round 4 is unfortunately where this match ends. Aura Mensa distracts Von Wagner. We get another pinfall here. Von Wagner runs into the ring post. He then gets jackknife pinned by Noam Dar for the 1-2-3. Noam Dar retains the NXT Heritage Cup. Von Wagner is not very happy though. He tries to put Noam Dar through the table. Aura Mensa gets Noam Dar out of the way, but unfortunately he's then put through a table himself. So was it really worth it, Aura Mensa? Probably not. I'm sorry, but you have just been tabled. Table for 1, baby. Let's go. We now get the Trick and Ilya Dragunov segment. Trick says he has a lot on his mind, so he asked Ilya Dragunov to come out so we can have a conversation with him. Dragunov says he loves the look on Trick Williams' face. On Sunday, he's going to bring his best, and obviously Trick Williams is going to bring his best as well, and they're going to whoop that Trick. He goes for a handshake, and Trick Williams does not shake his hand. Because of what Carmelo Hayes has been saying, he is starting to not trust Ilya Dragunov. He's like, you try to make me work double duty. Maybe you want as injured as you said you was, maybe because so you can get the advantage at Vengeance Day. Like, I don't believe that you was as injured as you was. You're trying to use the whole me in the Dusty Classic and then having to face you as an advantage, so you don't think I can beat you for the NXT Championship. Ilya Dragunov takes offense to this and says, like, don't disrespect me. You can't come out and talk all this trash about me. I put my body on the line in that match, which is why I'm injured. I put my body on the line for the whole of NXT last year to elevate this championship, to elevate other people in the locker room, including yourself, Trick Williams. So it's one of those situations here, guys, where, Dragunov is trying to say to him, get Carmelo Hayes out your head. It seems like you've been getting some false information, some false advice, some false pep talks from Carmelo Hayes. Focus on this Sunday. I can't help it if, like, your own success is getting in your way. You guys have like blazed through the Dusty Classic and have entered into obviously the final with the Wolf Dogs. That's not my fault. But also, you are successful by yourself as well. I've given you this pedestal. I put you on this giving you the opportunity to have a championship match on the grandest stage at Vengeance Day. Basically, you're going to have to work through it all. Is what Ilya Dragunov is trying to say. Before anything else can happen, guys, they do shake hands. Trick Williams is seemingly, starting to trust him again. Trying to get back on the level where he can like respect Ilya Dragunov without having all of this stuff that Carmelo Hayes has been saying in his head. As they do shake hands, though, we get the Wolf Dogs coming out. Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker attack Trick Williams from behind and also knock down Ilya Dragunov. While this is going on, Carmelo Hayes gets into the ring and helps Trick Williams fight off the Wolf Dogs. But while the Wolf Dogs are escaping up the ramp, Trick Williams turns around and faces Ilya Dragunov again. Where is Trick Williams' focus? Carmelo Hayes came out to help him, but Trick Williams seems to be more focused on the NXT Championship. Carmelo Hayes notices this, and there's a really cool shot where the Wolf Dogs are in the background on the ramp. Carmelo Hayes is turned around looking at Trick Williams while Trick Williams is looking at Ilya Dragunov. What is going to happen at NXT Vengeance Day, guys? There has got to be a turn, and I have a feeling that Carmelo Hayes is either going to cost Trick Williams the NXT Championship, or Trick Williams' focus is going to cost them both the Dusty Tag Team Classic. Let's see. And let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think is going to happen at NXT Vengeance Day? Are you excited? We have got some great matches going on here, guys. We have got Dijak versus Joe Gacy in a no disqualification match. We have got a 6-person tag team match between Stax, Tony D, and Rizzo of the family versus OTM, Jada Parker, Lucian Price, and Bronco Nima. We have got a great NXT Women's Championship match, Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. Am I looking forward to it? No, but it's probably going to be a great match. And obviously as well, we have the North American Championship match, which is going to be dope. I forgot to mention this, but after the Dusty semi-final, Obafemi just came out and destroyed the LWO. Dragon Lee came out and he also destroyed him as well. Obafemi looking like an absolute beast. And we're going to be seeing what's going to be happening on Sunday. Obafemi versus Dragon Lee for the NXT North American Championship. That is a match I am also really looking forward to as well. And of course, the finals of the Dusty Classic. We have got the Wolf Dogs of Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker versus Trick Mello, baby. Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. And don't forget the biggest match of them all, the NXT Championship match. Whoop that Trick. Trick Williams versus the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. Let me know what you think of all those matches. I'm probably going to be joining you guys. I'm probably going to be doing a review of NXT Vengeance Day on the day after, just because obviously I'll need some sleep after I've watched the match and I'll need to write down some notes. So I will be joining you for that. Guys, if you want to check out anything else in the week, make sure you check out tomorrow's podcast. We're going to be discussing the Royal Rumble best outfits. That's going to be cool. Make sure you check out Courtney's review of Monday Night Raw yesterday and stay tuned for Friday Night SmackDown, where either Ross or G is going to be covering that for you guys. With that being said, a lot of content on the way, of course. Make sure you stay tuned for all of that. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Wednesday and the rest of your week. But for now, peace out, guys. Whoop that Trick.